What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're going to get back into the Spring League. I am excited. We are on the eve of our very first Spring League game for this upcoming season, and I'm definitely looking forward to it and ready to break it down. Now, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos, and if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Now, let's go ahead and let's get into the content for the Spring League and what we're going to go over today. First, they released the helmets today, so we're going to go through and we're going to I'm not going to give them a ratings and that. I'm just going to rank them from the least to the best, give you my thoughts on them, and then I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you my thoughts on how the season's going to open up and kind of the type of football we are going to see coming up, depending upon when you're watching this video, on Tuesday, October 27th. All right, without further ado, today is Monday, or at least when I'm recording it, and the official team helmets have been released for all 6 teams for this Spring League, this upcoming season. And I will say, like I've said before, I think they did a pretty good job. Now, remember, this is not the XFL. This is the AAF. This is not the AAF. This is definitely not the NFL. This is probably somewhere more on the lower side of things with that. However, what they've done, I think they've done a fantastic job with where they're at and what they have and what they're doing. Now, remember, they're not paying the players. Players are living in a bubble that they're providing. So the Spring League's providing them, room, board, that whole thing, and being able to be there for pretty much the month. And that's pretty much it. So when you're dealing with that type of a thing, and they've got this deal with Fox Sports 1 to show the games. I don't know how much money they're bringing in with that, but you can definitely tell from that this is kind of more on the lower side of things. However, for them to bring in the coaching star power that they did, to get the quarterbacks that they have gotten, who are available, I'm just been really, really impressed with what they've done, and I will say I've been impressed with the helmets and how they've done them with that. Now, there's going to be ones that I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dog them, and you need to take it with a grain of salt, because I'm really trying to hammer the point home that there's a difference in the quality of what I expect from the Spring League, what I expected from the AAF and the XFL, and what I expect from the NFL. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start with the 6th ranked one that I have, and it's the Generals. And a lot of it really, that might look really good with the color scheme and that, and it's okay to me. It's super, super generic with the stars and that. And the thing for me is when you look at these pictures and that with it, the stickers don't even fully line up on the helmets. I mean, the stars are kind of over off, kind of where, the face mask kind of meets off this side, so you can see a little tab there, and then you got a little tab, hanging where the holes are on that, newer generation style of helmet. Not that they necessarily look bad, it just looks kind of janky, and it looks like, kind of high school D3 football kind of just slapped on there, that it really wasn't, it was kind of just a generic logo. They found it, they had the stickers made, and they had them stuck on the side, and the stickers were just a little too big. I think if they would have took the stickers, kind of shrunk them a little bit, I think things would look a little bit better on that helmet, and it wouldn't be so bad. The stripes down the center, kind of more of a traditional feel in that with it. I think overall it's just very bland, generic. We'll see if the helmets really sheen and anything with that. But for me, it's the kind of the least of them with that. So that being said, let's move on to the Conquerors. And here's the thing. If it weren't for the Generals being so generic, I would actually put the Conquerors last. I really like theirs probably the least. However, when it comes to kind of styling, I'll give them a little bit of a pass here because they've done a little bit more with it. But the thing for me is I do not like the dark red contrast with maroon. It does not look good for me. I don't like that at all. I actually probably, if the color scheme had been slightly different with this team, I think I would have put them probably a lot higher with that. But it's just, it's generic, kind of that Trojans, kind of that whole type of a vibe. Now, I will say I do kind of like the whole spear as the as the stripe down the middle. That is kind of cool. The logo's not too bad. Accentuating the shield and then having the helmet inside the shield with the spears. It's really, really kind of a neat type of setup. But the color scheme is just terribly done. Not good. And two, I do want to point something out. I really do like the Spring League, tag right there. I think that that's a really nice touch on all of the helmets that they've done with that. But this one, I think if they would have just changed up the color scheme a little bit, it definitely would have done a lot better for me, but that's where it's at. But let's go ahead and let's move on to the fourth one. And the fourth one, the Jousters, again, that's even a nameful. It's a hard thing to say, and they kind of went with this kind of, shield theme thing. It just kind of reminds me too much of, having fun at, a putt-putt golf and go-karts. I mean, that's just kind of what I see, and so when I look at it and I see that kind of with it, it does kind of make me think a little bit more kind of amateurish, so to say. But I'm not necessarily dogging it. Color scheme was all right with me. I like the purple. I like the light gray and the white. They all seem to go really well together. I just wish they would have done a little bit different with the shield and that kind of racing thing. Kind of got rid of that with it for me. I think would have been a lot better. I do like the lance coming, as the stripe. I think they've done a really good job with using that stripe with that. Like the colors, I do not like the name. The name is a mouthful. It's hard to say. And I know, I get it. Yes, I'm aware that I have a hard time saying things anyway. So, to have that is tough for me, but I've got them sliding in at number 4. Now, to start off the top 3 and going from there, I'm going to go with the Aviators. And I know that the Aviators is really paying homage to what they've had in the past, the Las Vegas and that with it. And I think it's cool. And, I think they could have stole one out of the Renegades playbook and used a little bit more, accent with a little bit bolder color like the red in that. I think it would have really made things pop. But I know you don't want to be, total rip off with it. I think the logo works really, really nice on the helmet. It looks sharp. It looks clean, with the, the black and the light blue. They really looked good. They really look good together, and they looked sharp when the Renegades did it. I didn't like it at first, but once they got on the field, it looked great. And I think that this contrast, with that green AstroTurf, I think it's going to look fantastic. It's going to look good. It's clean cut. I love it. I like the name. It's really good. I got them sliding in there at number 3 and really starting us off with a really good top half, because I think that the 3 at the top are really, really sharp. I think they've done a really nice job with it. And the logo here, I got to give them props. The logo is the perfect size for the helmet. Really, really good. And the runner-up here I have the Alphas. At first, the Alphas was kind of, the color scheme for me was very, like I said, reminiscent of, again, I keep going back to it, and it just is what it is, like a D3, D2 school, type of a vibe, kind of that newer age kind of a look. The logo, I don't know, they're trying to go with that, like I said, those, rounded but sharp edges and really kind of give it that edge with it. But I will say the thing I really do like is that with the gray helmet, the way it is, to have those accentuating, really bold green colors, they really work well together. And the way that they've got the helmet, now I wish they wouldn't have stuck it in some tall grass where we could actually see what's really going on here. But the logo fits really nice on the helmet. I think it's going to look really good out on the field. The question is what they're going to do with the uniforms, because I think that the uniform could really, really make this all really come together and make it look really, really sharp, or make it look really, really cartoony or goofy or weird and really throw it off. So, I mean, they're not necessarily out of the woods yet with it, but the color scheme that they did and the way that they've got everything with the Alphas, that neon, green yellow color really makes it pop, and then adding that dark green accents with the grays, it looks fantastic. It looks sharp. And that's my runner up. And you know, to kind of finish everything off looking sharp, and it's the best one that they've done. It's the blues. I'm a sucker for sharks. I've loved sharks my whole life. When I was in fourth grade and we had to do Ocean Quest, I did my whole semester project on the great white shark. I've loved sharks since then. You're talking to a guy who like loves and lives for Shark Week, and to have this set up like this is just perfect. I love blues. I love, putting the blues together. And that even though my favorite color is green, blues I'm a very cool color type of guy, and this really stands out to me. They've done a fantastic job with it. The logo just fits perfect on the helmet. It looks good. It's the right way. That light blue, the dark blue, they really go together with it. And actually, having the three tones with the very dark blue to kind of that mid grade kind of a blue to the light blue really works well. And then accentuating the gray, I think they did a fantastic job with the color here. I mean, it looks very, very actually professional, for them with it. And it just sets everything off for me. The sad thing for me is it's like they've got Shea Patterson, who's a former, Michigan Wolverine, and then them called the Blues, and, with Michigan and Go Blue and all that. It just, it really frustrates me because, I don't want all of that, there with that, because I really, really do like it. But hey, I have to stick true to it and what I feel and how I have it. So I've got them rounding everything out. And, but the top three, I think that they're just far and above better than the other ones. And, like I said, it's just the blue kind of stood out to me a little bit more, because I really think that the uniforms could really, hinder the alphas depending upon which way they go. So guys, that's what it is. That is how I, ranked them, and I'll go through and just give a real quick recap. I've got the Generals at number 6, the Conquerors at number 5, number 4, the Jesters, and then the top 3, we've got the Aviators, and at the number 2 spot, we got the Alphas, and in the number 1, I have the Blues. Now, let's go ahead and let's transition to what I'm expecting to see from the Spring League. I'm not really expecting to see a lot of, I don't think we're going to get anything that's going to get too complicated here. I don't think we're going to be seeing exotic blitzes. I don't think that we're going to be, seeing, these, crazy packages and things like that. But I will say, I'm not expecting to see, your grandfather's, style of football. I don't see that we're going to get just vanilla style football. I think you're going to see some of these offenses are going to come out. They're going to be throwing the ball. I think you're going to see some, the football is going to be slung around the field. I think you're going to see some dynamic play. I think you're going to see some of these quarterbacks running. I don't think we're going to get the guys like a normal, preseason game where they're going to stand back in the pocket and they're just going to, throw the ball away, because that's the good thing to do. Listen here, this is their last chance and their opportunity. And what you saw with the guys that were successful in getting into the NFL from the XFL, they succeeded. They went in above and beyond. They didn't just show that they could, really, accomplish, their own personal skills. They took teams up on their back. They were true leaders out on the field, and they showcased their talent and their abilities to be playmakers, to be difference makers, to really take the game on. And that's what's going to get these guys, the payday, the paycheck, because that's what they want. And in end, they want to be making money doing the game that they love. And so as I'm seeing this, I don't think you're going to get what you would normally get out of a preseason game, out of some of the other stuff. I think it's going to be, you're going to see guys taking shots. You're going to see guys taking chances. You're going to see that with it. Now, do I think that it's going to be perfect ball? No, I think we're going to see some sloppiness here and there. But listen, most of these guys are pros, and and have been at some level of pro ball before. So it's not going to come out and fall on their face. This is not going to be, a game one college game, but this is definitely probably going to have where guys are going to miss assignments. You're going to have, some stupid penalties here and there from guys just, not really having a lot of time. I mean, they've really only been, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, really 3 weeks. Really, it's been more, a little bit more on the side of 2 weeks, but, let's say 3 weeks to really get themselves around, put these teams together, and that's really a short period of time. Normally, I would say, give the advantage to the defense, but really, the game has shifted. And I think in this instance, you might even give some, some to the offense here in that respect, in that regard with it. I think that you've got some definitely defensive-minded teams in that with it. But the thing that really, stands out to me in that is if you looked at all of the, the stuff that they've been posting, the spring league that is, and that they've got a lot of guys around there, and a lot of guys are, they're coaches that have been around, and I said this before, and you watch my coaches' videos, they've got guys who have been in all forms of pro football. But also, too, you got guys, I mean, we saw photos of, of June Jones there, and others who have been from, the XFL and from CFL, which is a much more, pass-friendly styles of games of football, much more dynamic, faster-paced style of football. So I'm expecting to see some of that. I really, truly am with it. And really, they're going to need that for Fox Sports to stick with them because to keep the viewership and to keep that, you're going to have to give them dynamic play because they just don't have, the stars that are there to really, bring in the numbers with the star power. So they're definitely going to need to do that, with some dynamic play. So I think it's a real, if they decide to really go conservative and really make this as, NFL preseason light, I think they're doing not only the players a disservice, but themselves a disservice because listen, a lot of these guys have had chances in, whether it be preseason, whether it be training camp, whether it be, in those camps type of situation where they've ran through the drills, they've done this stuff, they've ran through it the perfect way and haven't really gotten the opportunity. This is their opportunity to show that they're a football player and not just a practice guy, and that they've got that special, that special talent about them that when they get on the football field, the switch flips and, they are a gamer, and that's what we need to see out of them, and that's what they need to do, and that's what the Spring League needs to do, especially if they're going to keep Fox Sports around and doing this, and this is just, I think, the start of, something really neat for them. They're the one league that's actually taken, this opportunity because of everything that we've been dealing with and really taken it and ran with it. And so I hope there's good things for them. I'm looking forward to watching it. I hope that you're looking forward to watching it. Like always, the question is, what do you think? I'd love to know down in the comment section what you guys think, what you're excited for, what you expect to see, what you hope you don't see. And also, too, give me your rankings. Tell me what you think about all of the different helmets. You rank them yours. See if they line up with mine. All right, guys, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.